Now, there's this video going around about birth control. Now, why would a video about birth control, a very necessary fact that we need to teach people, is being responded to? Well, the thing is, my opinion is, kids of high school age, so teenagers, or 12 years old as well, because not everybody's going to reach 13 while they're in their like second year of high school. Like some people are born in August and July. But 12 to 13 for me is the age that you should start teaching kids these valuable lessons, these facts, because that's when their bodies and minds start changing. They're going to be feeling these feelings that they've never felt before. They're going to be developing. So you need them to know this information so that they can make reasonably informed decisions, hopefully anyway. But this video is claiming that parents are teaching kids birth control, and these kids are not of high school age. They're actually quite young. They're like, must be at the most 10 or 11, and let's be honest, unless you've got early onset puberty, you're not going to need these lessons just yet. It's too early. They might not even understand it, and apparently it comes across as creepy. So let's delve into it, shall we?
How does the guy get this around his penis?
He just stretches it around. They're big and tall, and they got like big
Dad,
ones.
Please, no,
Oh,
no.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You see what I mean? The kid's clearly not a teenager. He's clearly not in any way near puberty. He's not even hit it. That guy's still very much out the womb.
I'm Donna. These are my kids, Alicia, who's 13, and Andrew, who is 10.
And annoying.
Now you see 13, again, that's fine. Although she looks pretty young for a 13-year-old, but she's the optimal age. She is in puberty right now. But him, he's 10. There's a time and a place. He needs to learn about this in just a couple more years. And they're teaching this to him? Really?
Today, we're going to talk about birth control.
Ew.
What do you know about birth control?
You take pills to make sure that you don't have a kid.
Why do you think someone would prevent getting pregnant?
Because they probably don't want a child. They're not ready for it.
Okay.
See, the clearly teenagers, that guy's voice is already dropped. So, I think it dropped earlier than mine dropped. And so I don't have an issue with those people learning it. I don't mean to sound all ponage, but why is every single mother in this video fat? I'm just, I don't know, notice that observation going through this video. It's just weird. Also, it's pretty clear they've not really been given the whole thing about what birth control really is. I mean, it's control. It's not just not having a baby. It's to make sure that you yourself can dictate when you want a baby. So maybe you don't have enough money at the moment, or maybe you aren't ready to have one, or there's a physical problem with you and that might hurt you if you were to have a baby. It doesn't really matter, does it? That is there to make sure that you don't have one for those reasons. It's not just not having a baby. Also, not just with the pill, because for some reason one of them chose a pill and all of them were saying it's not to have a baby. It's also to make sure that you don't get any sexual diseases like condoms. Not only do they stop, at least are meant to stop, men from passing their sperm onto the egg so that they fertilise, but it's also to protect you from STDs. It's not just about control necessarily.
What, no bananas?
Bananas!
Awesome. I knew you'd like
What's
that.
bananas have anything to do with
We'll
it?
get there.
Look, she gets it because she's a teenager and she's obviously at that point in her life where these things make sense to her. He doesn't understand it. He's 10 years old. Why is he there? What does he gain from this?
This is an option, a good option, to prevent what?
Pregnancy.
Okay.
I don't have a problem with her because she's clearly, at least from my perspective, I could be wrong, but she looks to be well and truly in her teens, early teens, and again, yeah, look, she obviously already knows, so why is she here? What do the people who are teenagers in this video gaining from this if they already know it? If they've been taught it in school or the parents have already given them the talk, why are they doing this? Like, what's the point?
These are prescription.
You have to get it from your doctor.
Right. You have to get it from the doctor.
It's not 100% effective. Mommy got pregnant with you and I was on birth control.
God, that's just brutal. What a bitch. That's not a thing to say to your kid, but then again, I was also told that. So I have complete sympathy. And look, again, the young boy, he's so immature, he so doesn't know what's going on. He knows what a prescription is, that's good. And this mother has to explain it to him in such a babyish way because he doesn't get it. I don't know if that girl who looks a similar age to him gets it either. I think she was more shocked at the fact that she'd just been called an accident than she was at the fact that birth control isn't 100% effective. And look, that is a good fact to know as well. But again, there's a time and a place here.
What do you think this is?
Liquid?
It's a condom.
The reaction should tell you all you need to know about how mature this kid is and how ready he is to have this conversation. He thought it was liquid. When it's a condom, it's not made out of liquid, it's latex, which is a plastic or a rubber, whatever you want to call it. Why is he there? It's not going to sink in properly. This is just stupid. I don't think it's necessarily creepy. I think this is just retarded. I think this is... I don't even know what they're trying to do here.
Chocolate syrup. This is candy.
Well, sometimes there's flavored condoms. So,
Why?
that's another.
Another retarded thing is these parents can't seem to just explain it. They can't explain these simple concepts. I don't know if it's because they're embarrassed or they themselves are stupid. I don't get it. And look, that kid's face is now beginning to get really annoying. Like, just like, come on. I can't tell if they're acting or not. That just doesn't seem like a very natural reaction, does it? I mean, at least she kind of gets the point when she was kind of say, you know, there's flavours, so she does understand what a blowjob is. I don't know. This is just creepy. I don't know if I don't know. Honestly, I'm lost for words, people. I'm lost for words. Genuinely, I'm lost for words when I watch this and I'm trying to react. I have no words for this because they can't explain it. So that leaves me to explain it. I'm not explaining it to you guys necessarily. And I just look at the kids and they clearly... I just don't think they really want to be there. I don't think they really... Most of them understand. The older ones do, but I don't know if oral sex is really something that this kid needs to be learning about. Again, I wish I knew how old she was so I could actually make a determination as to how ready she is, but that's the thing. They're not open with every single age, and I think that's probably why people are outraged. There's not a lot of transparency here, so a lot of them may look younger than they actually are. Maybe some of these are immature as well, so they don't get it, even though you'd think they're the optimum age, but I don't know. It's just...
Wait, what? A female condom? Where does this go?
The kid doesn't even know what a female condom is. I should tell you all you need to know as to the education these kids have received from these stupid parents. I think maybe they're on here because even the parents don't seem to understand things or just haven't been telling them anything. That's quite irresponsible. But look, I began to learn these things when I was 13. I think I might have been 12 when the first lesson was first taught, but that was because I was in my second year and I'm born in November, so I don't know. Anyway, point is, after that, they continued to teach you up until I'd say I was about 14 and 15, and then I guess they've taught you everything they need to know. They assume your parents are also teaching you this. So it was kind of like a bit in school, but not a whole week on it or a whole syllabus about it. No, it was just things that they teach you about the human anatomy and how these things change and things like that. It was a scientific way of teaching you, and also to try and teach you some responsibility. Didn't stop at least 1 or 2 teenage pregnancies, but you know, it was 1 or 2. That's pretty good for a British school. I feel that is the best way to go about it. This is just stupid. It is just stupid.
What's that?
A female condom.
Now look, she's clearly one of the older ones, as we've seen, but I can't tell whether she actually knows what it is or she's just reading it, because of course it will say female condom on the label, so who knows? What does this really tell us, the viewer, that we're adults? Adults will be watching this. We already know this, right? Is this a, hey parents, isn't it funny to give them the talk? I don't know. What does it do for me? Like, a 23-year-old single guy who doesn't have any kids. What am I supposed to gain from this? I can't even see what parents gain from this, other than maybe a few awkward laughs, if they do find this weird shit funny.
Condom. Oh, it's a female condom. I've never even seen one.
Ew, it's oily. Ew.
Jesus Christ, you know when your dad has never seen one in his life, that this kid is probably going to suffer in some way socially from not knowing all these facts. So I guess in a way, this video could benefit that kid. Then again, the fact that man is clearly an older dad. He must be in his 50s. Unless he just looks really old. How can you go through your whole life and not see one? Even I've seen one. So, again, this is just so weird.
Why does it look wet?
It's a lubricant, and also I believe there's spermicide.
And I bet there's extra lube in American condoms because most men are circumcised against their will. But yes, there is spermicide in that, in the vain hope that it will kill enough sperm, or all of the sperm, that if the man chooses to come inside, they all die. But as we know, if it splits, that's not necessarily the case. I don't even think that kid understands even that. Again, this isn't benefiting them. They're explaining this in a stupid, awkward way. I can't tell if they're playing it for laughs, if they're doing this on purpose, or they're genuinely stupid. This is ridiculous. Nobody's learning anything. They're not explaining what it is. They're not explaining how the lube works, how the spermicide works, how the condom works, how any of this birth control works. They're not teaching anybody anything. It's just a bunch of awkward conversations with mostly kids who may or may not be of the age they should be learning this, and some of them are far too young and don't understand anything whatsoever. This is absolutely ridiculous.
Okay, why is this thing so big?
Because she has to put it inside her to capture the sperm.
Oh, that's nasty. So you put this thing in the
Vagina.
Vagina.
The one in blue is genuinely stupid. But again, it's not necessarily his fault because he's only a kid as well. And the other one doesn't understand it. None of them understand this. Apart from maybe the older ones. But even then, the sister of the guy in blue didn't understand it either. This, again, I'm not learning anything. Yes, I think it's quite obvious why it's that big. But again, they're not explaining anything. They're just saying it is so.
The banana is kind of the shape of a man's penis, okay? Blah.
Do you want to open one up?
Make a big boy. Make a big boy.
Okay. So,
Oh, good Lord. You got the right idea, dear.
And make sure there's some air.
Some air.
Gotta leave some space between the top.
If it wasn't for the fact that teaching kids who aren't ready for this, I might not have a problem with this particular bit, because at least they're teaching something. Why are they using bananas? People don't use bananas for this when they're genuinely seriously teaching people this type of thing. They don't use bananas. I mean, yeah, they might use what we would call a dildo, but again, you've got to use something. And a banana, really? A banana actually is not necessarily the same shape properly, because some guys might not have that kind of shape. It's true. Not every man will have that banana shape. So again, they're not actually teaching kids the human anatomy. They're just using a banana because it's funny.
Okay, now remember, there you go. There needs to be room for the sperm to shoot out. Is it backwards? I don't know.
So what you do is you put it on and you roll it. Do you have experience doing this, dude?
No.
When did you learn how to do this?
That ruins a perfectly good banana.
well, I know. And then you roll it down.
Who would watch this and take this as serious education? They're playing this up for laughs. If this is genuine serious education, then I feel really bad for Americans, because you're fucked, basically.
Just remember, this is just as much the male's job as the girl's job to prevent pregnancy.
As much as that is true, this is not how a lot of women I've met. And you can see this in the Durex advert, actually. Durex is the British brand for condoms and other things like that. Basically, from my experience, women only tend to either buy male condoms or they'll have none whatsoever. They expect you to have your own. They don't seem to buy their own female kind of condoms. Sometimes maybe they've tried it and they don't like it. That's fair enough. But it always seems like the onus is on the man more than it is the woman to stop it. I mean, obviously women will be on the pill as well, but generally speaking, it's the man who has to supply the condoms. And I think that's kind of not fair. And I think women just going out there without any kind of protection other than the pill is dangerous, because that might stop you from having a baby, but it's not going to stop you getting gonorrhea or HIV or anything like that now, is it? So it's kind of unfair in many ways to say that to that kid.
Let's say condom breaks. Now what?
You're SOL.
No, you're not. Don't use that term again.
To be fair though, he does have a point. For a lot of men, their ass is going to hell. Economic hell.
It's the day after pill.
Yes, it does exist, but you're not explaining how it works to the lad. In fact, you're not really explaining much of anything, how anything works. And that's the problem. And again, the day after pill might not work. Or the woman might not have it. She might just have the birth control pill and that's it. And she might not even be on it. She might even lie that she's on it. That can happen. So the kid's kind of right. You have a 50% chance of going to hell, figuratively speaking. And they're not teaching him any of this stuff.
There's a lot of forms of birth control.
There's another one like a diaphragm.
You can get an IUD and get inserted in your arm.
Which is something that is surgically, I think, placed inside her, that is always releasing some sort of spermicide or something that kills off the sperm.
Good. They're saying how something works. Good. They could have done this throughout the whole video. But also notice how they're not telling the lads that, it's unlucky for you, condoms are your only option. And they're only 98% effective, or 97. It's 90-something% effective. So that's all you have, while the women have got all these options. They're not even suggesting that maybe somewhere down the road you yourself could have a pill, and maybe you ought to try and advocate for these things, or maybe explain to them trust, how trust works. They're not explaining anything like that. They're not brought that up at all yet, and I think that's important. But hey, I don't know. It's just playing up for laughs.
But what's this one? What is this?
Birth control women trust. The spermicide doctors recommend the most.
And then it looks like you use your finger and you insert it into your vagina.
It kills the sperm. Now, will that prevent disease? Correct.
I can't believe it took 5 to 6 minutes for them to bring up the fact that pills and spermicide, stuff like that, will not prevent disease. Only the condoms have a chance of doing that. That's just too late. You should be taught that straight away. When they were on the subject of condoms, or whenever, they should have been telling them that straight away. That's not something you leave to the end. That's ridiculous. Again, this is meant to be education, people.
Wait, you don't put this in your mouth, right? No, I saw a lady put something.
Baby, that's a breath mint. She put a breath mint in her mouth.
Oh!
I guess I'll just present that without comment. I'd be just repeating myself.
There's another method called the pull-out.
It don't work half the time.
How you know?
Cause I just a guess.
I think this kid's been doing his own research. I think this kid's quite smart. I like this one. He's the most likable one. He gets it. Now, I don't know if that's because of his age or he genuinely is that smart, but like, tops to him. He seems to know it already. But again, he's not benefiting from it because he already knows. He knows it's 50% unlikely to work. But then again, you'd have a better chance if you wore a condom if you're going to do that.
A man can get a vasectomy.
Does that mean we get our balls chopped off?
No.
No, we don't.
Again, they're not explaining how it actually works, at least not yet. And also, they're not telling these boys that, one, this is literally all you've got. You've got vasectomies, you've got coitus interruptus, and you've got fucking condoms. That's 3 things. Pulling out, vasectomies, and condoms. That's all you have to protect yourself from STDs and unwanted pregnancy. That's all you have. And they're not making any effort to make that point. I mean, I'm not even suggesting that there's a political thing to this. I don't know. I can't really see it. I think it's just retarded. But they're not bringing that up. None of them have thought, well, maybe we should bring that up because isn't that an interesting point? That would be genuinely educational, wouldn't it? But I guess that's just maybe the gynocentrism inherent in our society. But that would have been a good point to bring up. but it doesn't seem to be scripted in any way, so of course they're not thinking about that.
Do you know what outer course is?
No.
Different ways that you can express your love, and you can be sexual without having to use condoms and birth control. That won't be risky to pregnancy.
Outer course is where you're kind of having sex, but you're not inside. The boy's penis is not inside.
Oh, so like you're still doing this, only
The
he
penis-
keeps his thingy out of here.
Do you know what dry hump it is?
Yeah.
You ever dry up a girl?
No.
So the penis can rub on the outside. Some guys rub their penis between the woman's breasts, especially if they push the breasts together.
You see, I thought this was about birth control. That's not really birth control. That's just foreplay and other stuff that you do to have fun. That's not birth control. That's just other ways of having just sexual play. That's literally all that is. That isn't a form of birth control. And again, my boy has done his homework. He deserves an A star for all this. I love that kid. He's great. And I just love how the most smartest kid is a black kid. So the alt-right are already triggered.
I believe it's also called oral sex. Am I correct?
I don't know. Blowjob?
Oh. Yeah.
What is that?
Two reactions that to me suggest two but kind of interlinked things. One, again, most of the kids do not understand these concepts or are just unaware, and one of them understands this really isn't relevant. I think it's also embarrassment, but he also knows, it's like, oh really? Come on, this is supposed to be about birth control. I already know this shit. I had to look it up because you didn't tell me it. Seriously, that's scary. All his interactions with his mum suggests to me that she hasn't taught him any of this. Or she hasn't thought about it until very recently, until she got told to be brought onto this. Or maybe she already has, as a responsible adult. Or he's done it all on his own. It seems to me like he's done it all on his own. That's scary. But at the same time, I'm glad smart kids are actually educating themselves. I'm going to assume he's using the internet. It doesn't strike me, considering his age, that he's going to be in school, in the library, reading a book. I might be wrong, but he's done his homework. He's my boy. He's great. That's the power of the modern world. You can teach yourself these things, but the responsibility shouldn't really be on him to teach himself that. It's his parents or parent. I don't know if it's single. There's just loads of different parents that are there. I don't know the home life of these kids, nor do I really want to.
Putting his mouth or his tongue
No.
in her on her.
No, I get it. I know.
My childhood is ruined.
Your childhood is not ruined.
There's another way of making sure that we prevent pregnancy, and it's actually maybe the best way, okay? And that is not to practice at all.
You know, look, she gets it, but the mother's making it so awkward. Like, do these parents know how to make things unawkward? I mean, I guess it's a difficult conversation, but like, come on. Really? I don't even think oral sex has a place in this. This is about protection. This is about preventing pregnancy. And they're just talking about how this is a way that you can do things without being pregnant. It's like, no. There's still an off chance that could happen if you're not wearing a condom. If it lands anywhere near her vagina, potentially the sperm could make the way in. You don't know. The worst part of that clip was the best way to do things is to not do it at all. It's like, well, maybe that is the best way. Actually, it probably is. But that's unhealthy for a person.
Only way to prevent pregnancy completely
Is not having sex.
which is abstinence. You abstain.
Hey, let's do absence all the time then.
I would appreciate that until you're married.
Well, I'll never get married then.
So,
Abstinence. Really? Okay.
Again, my boy, he gets it. He understands that abstinence isn't going to work either, because he gets that to not have sex is unhealthy mentally for a lot of people. So don't promote abstinence. It's never worked anyway. The Catholic Church and Protestant Church, the religions all over the world have tried to teach this in Africa and it doesn't work. When in trying to stop HIV or anything like that, it doesn't work. But anyway, that's the end of the video. Abstinence teaching them about things that aren't really anything to do with birth control, doing it in an awkward way, playing up for laughs without explaining most of anything, not really bringing up any good points. Like, you know, for men it's very limited for trying to prevent pregnancy or STDs, while women have this whole range of stuff to prevent pregnancy. It came across as more stupid and naive and sometimes downright scary as the things that you see. I mean, the fact that that male black kid understood stuff almost as much, if not better, than his parent did, and she didn't seem to really know what he's been researching and didn't seem to even, at least from the outside, teach him anything whatsoever. He did it all on his own. But anyway, it's gone on too long. I'll see you later.